All right, so the next thing I want to do is make the ceiling assembly. So just to refresh your memory from the last video, this is the one we're going to make. So basically I'm going to make this part of it here. So it's going to be the 2.5-inch concrete suspended on metal deck. And the ceiling actually suspends below that. And so that's what we're going to use. All right, so if I go ahead and go back to my section here, I can pick this ceiling, but it's actually a ceiling, and I don't want a ceiling, I want a floor, right? So if I pick this, it's actually a floor, right? So I can kind of start from this one. And so if I pick that one, I can copy that. So I'm just going to copy it to my clipboard. And then I can paste align to selected levels, level 2, top of slab. And now it's pasted that guy right to the top of slab, and I can go in, and this is different than that one, right? So I'm going to edit type, and I'm going to duplicate this, and we'll name this, I'm not sure how deep it's going to be, but we'll name it concrete on deck, right? And I don't quite know how big it is. I might rename it, but I don't want anything wrong in there. And so I'll click OK. And then I'm going to edit the structure. And it says it's 2.5 inches, and that is actually the depth of the concrete before it gets to the metal deck. So we've got 6 inches of concrete here, but let's go ahead and put the metal deck in. So I'm going to come in here and duplicate that. And if I go to the pull down, you'll see that there's an option for structural deck, and I'll pick that, and it's going to give me 1.5 inches of composite structural deck below that. And so what I want to do is make sure that the 1.5 inches and and add that 2.5 inches to it. So that would be 4 inches, right? So I do 4 inches and then click OK and click OK. So now I've got this metal deck, right, that's sitting and is right there on the level 2 top of slab. Okay. And so far so good. The next thing that we want to do is we want to kind of figure out, like, this is kind of an interesting intersection, right? Like the floor doesn't go all the way through, and the floor here doesn't go all the way through. So typically what would happen if this is a partition, this is a 1 hour firewall, this would go all the way up to the bottom of the deck. And then this is our finish, and it's kind of these panels, so it needs to be adjusted. The ceiling would typically go, all the way to the edge. It would have a little corner piece or a little offset piece here, depending on how you handled that. And then the carpet would go, to the edge of the chipboard and have some trim over it. There might be some little rails that run along that hold the carpet in. So what I want to do in the next video is go in and adjust all of these things so they look correct, because this is not the way that these things meet. And that's important to sort of have an understanding how that works.